What's not working for us in the current measurement paradigm? This is the current measurement paradigm. This is the funnel. We go further in depth into how this works in the marketing portion, but suffice to say, the whole idea is for an individual who's joining your community to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in this thing. And then the typical marketer will be like, oh, cool, great, that's awesome. Why don't you perform this action? And we will give you a reward for that action. And depending upon your response, whether or not you like it or don't like it, we will give you another action. So what ends up happening is they raise their hand and then they collect their reward and we add a tag to them. And then they raise their hand again and they collect the next reward and we add a second tag. And we're like, great, this is a conversation that's happening through technology. The point of a funnel is for you to have an intimate conversation with a potential customer at scale. This is the typical measurement paradigm for the modern day. Unfortunately, marketers are really well known for creating 4, 5, 6, 7 different funnels, and they're all really nicely placed. And they say, if the customer has this tag, put them in this funnel. And if the customer has this tag, put them in this funnel. It's very neat and organized. But the community managers around us might recognize that users don't do that. They don't function that way, right? Some users will fall into your funnel halfway through. Some users lose interest and they leave. They go into a general community. They bounce around all of your different funnels and they just kind of hang out without taking that next step. Now, it's the marketer's job to make sure that they do take that next step, but it's also the marketer's job to make sure that they only ask the individuals when they're ready for that next step, when those individuals are ready. And that's the problem with the current measurement paradigm. Funnels only converse with each individual user. You raise your hand and you put down your hand, and tags and flags on the back end change depending upon a single conversation. Communities are peer-to-peer, right? The conversations that you have with other individuals are swaying, changing, and adjusting your user journey as you go into those funnels. And because funnels don't pay attention to that, community managers can't measure their worth. And also the funnels fail to work on the regular. So here's what we're really looking at. This is from Orbit, one of the community intelligence platforms. And we'll be talking at length about the community intelligence platforms here in a little bit. But what I do want you to notice is over there on the right is that small little cone there. That right there is your funnel. And you can see there's some people in it, but they can leave at any time. And there's a certain valence, a certain scope in which your communities are going to participate and engage, where they're at, when they're at it. And what I want you to think about is you don't just have one funnel, you have 4 or 5 funnels, all following in different areas along this line. And it's your job as the community manager to speak to all observers across all funnels, all users across all funnels, all fans across all funnels. And what's really critical is that as a community manager, you're able to measure that whole impact, not just the individual funnels. Now, because of this issue, there's been some very critical problems that have come about. You might wonder, what exactly is happening that's causing us to switch our tools so frequently? It's because people are all over the place. We can't measure those specific funnels. So we have 2 major problems. On one end, community managers are saying, yo, this isn't it. We don't have enough information. We can't do this. Traditional funnels are too restrictive. People don't use the internet the way that you expect them to. But on the other end, what we tend to receive from our marketers is, well, yeah, people use the internet in all different ways, but we can't create a valid, viable, easy to navigate user journey unless we just focus on what the users do, because they can say a million things. What they do is what matters, and that's what a funnel measures. So in order for us to deal with this dialectical tension, this stress factor of measuring community and measuring funnels in 2 completely different measurement paradigms, there are going to be some things that both departments need to do. On one end, community managers are really going to need to start systematizing the data collection that we collect outside of the funnel and providing it to the marketers. And the marketers are going to need to expand their funnel system in order to make it easier to measure users less creepily. And that measurement strategy needs to go beyond behavior. in February, and we do have a video recording of this attached to the CLG campus, in addition to a few podcasts. We talked with MeasureMinds, a big leader in the marketing space, about how they could help us as community managers measure community. So you can go over there in order to grab that. There's a QR code here. But today we're going to focus on community builders. First, we need to know how metrics actually work. Like, what is the anatomy of a metric? How do they abstract reality? And why does the metric abstraction that is currently in the paradigm not work for us? Then we're going to introduce the social scientific models that allow us to properly abstract our data in a way that is more fitting of our content. Using that social scientific process, we're going to, there's that word again, I want you to keep it in mind, identify your scopes so that you can better understand your community and connect it to the funnel stages and steps that you'll find in marketing, support, sales, and data flow management. Then we're actually going to do it. This is where the workshop portion comes in. We're going to map your data flows physically and manually. I'm removing any concept of X platform. We're going to use a simple spreadsheet, collect simple data, use that data to manually move the data flow. And then all you need to do once you understand it manually is automate it piece by piece by piece using other technologies like a CRM, a Power BI system like Google Studio, and a community intelligence platform. By doing this, we're going to make sure that you can find the right questions and deliver the relevant answers to the right people.